Good morning, this is Lisa from Lux Perennials Nursery. It's time to do summer pruning for all of our perennials that need a little cleanup. We've got some gorgeous, really fun things blooming in the garden, as you can see here. So let's go through the process. We're gonna clean up some perennials. Let's start with geums. One of my favorite flowers, one of the longest blooming flowers in the garden. It starts in April, goes through frost. It blooms kind of sporadically in the summer. But as you can see on this guy, it's got a lot of spent blooms. I'll show you some more in a minute. But it's also got a lot of blooms coming. So how do we prune this guy? It kind of depends on what your plant looks like right now. For this one, we're just going to take off some of these long spent blooms. We're going to cut them all the way close to the ground, like 6 inches from the ground, and we're going to leave up all these other beautiful flowering stems. For some of our other geums, they're really mostly done. It's got beautiful foliage. It's evergreen foliage, which is why it's so popular for me and my customers. But see if you can see, these are all spent flowers. So there's not a lot blooming on this guy. He's got a few, you can leave those. But this you could just take a big pair of hedge pruners and just lop everything off at once. Or it might even be floppy. Sometimes when the stems get really long, they get floppy into the path. So what you're going to want to do is just take that completely down. So here. So if you can see, there's still a lot to take out, but this is the area right there. That's what I just took out. And see how much more neat it is? I'm going to step back a little bit out of the sun. The foliage is lovely. You're just going to have a mound of this beautiful evergreen foliage. And you will have flowers, but it'll be a lot more sporadic, but the plant will look much more neat and clean. And so what you'll end up with is a plant that looks more like this. There's not a lot of blooms on it. It has a few, but it's just nice, neat green foliage. And then the new blooms, you can see there's lots of buds in there coming up. Geums slow down in summer. They bloom just sporadically when it's hot, but then, it'll just keep sending up a few shoots here and there. We're going to do another round of pruning on our wallflower. I showed you this in all my spring pruning, just as I did the geums. So the wallflower, see how it has this flower at the top, and all of that is spent flowers along the stem. So wallflowers start blooming and they look short. And when you see it's elongated and there's only flowers at the top, it's time to clip all that off. So again, you can do something similar with this as you did with the geums, and just clip all those long stems off to have a smaller, more neat perennial. And then it's going to just keep blooming and blooming and blooming. This guy's going to bloom and bloom till October, November. The bees love it, as you can see there on the pollinators. But that will get it all neat and clean and spur some growth in new blooms. How about the Jupiter's beard, or red valerian, also called Centranthus rubor in the botanical name? Again, that was one that started blooming early. Look how pretty it is. It's still beautiful. The Roseanne geranium behind it. But it's got a lot of spent flowers on it. This is one you have to really keep up on. See, that's a spent flower. My camera will focus there. So it's just there's not much pink there. It's mostly brown. And we prune these at least once a month. So we just come in and clip those off. And if you keep after it, you will just get blooms for 5 months straight, May through October. And you can keep it. Sometimes it will look more sporadic like this, and sometimes it's just this mass of solid pink, So it's really it's worth the effort. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, deep pink color, so pretty in the garden. So just keep at it and keep pruning just the tops of the spent flower head. Just prune right underneath wherever it's just spent right there. Just prune right underneath the bottom of this, right where my pen is. Just prune right there, and the flower buds below it will spring out and bloom. This is Dianthus sooty, or Sweet William, and the variety is sooty. It's got these incredible chocolatey, smoky burgundy red. It's not really picking up how deep. It's just this beautiful, deep color of flower. And this is just a mass of burgundy when it blooms in May and into June. But then it makes these seed heads, and the reason we didn't cut them off is because this is a biennial. After it flowers its second year, then it will drop those seeds and the mother plant dies and the seeds come up. And I don't ever have to plant new ones. They just keep propagating and perpetuating themselves. And they even have evergreen foliage, which looks nice in the winter. So we let the seeds, it looks a little ratty for a couple of months while we just let the seeds dry and do their thing. And now we're going to probably just cut these off. We probably have enough seeds that have dropped. That's good enough. And we'll just get this all neat and clean. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take the stem, and you can just pull these out. So if you just see, I'm just pulling out the spent ones, and that's all you have to do. You don't even need to cut it, and there, that area is done right there. So we'll just do that with the whole thing, and we'll be done with that in just a flash. Here's Geranium Roseanne. This is one of my favorite flowers. It is so easy. I have 100 of these in the garden if I have one, maybe more, because it blooms from May to November, well, October, May to October, constantly, and you actually don't need to deadhead or clip this back. It's just going to keep blooming, 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 which is awesome. You can see the bees there getting in there and getting their stuff. But if it gets a little leggy, you can just trim back whatever you don't like, just to neaten it up, just however you want it to look. It won't hurt the plant. But otherwise, you can just leave it alone and let it do its thing. Hey, we didn't have to do any work on that. Great. Okay, so now we're going to switch from our second round of blooming our spring plants. So our spring bloomers, kind of April, May bloomers, were Geum, the Jupiter's Beard, the pink one, the Dianthus, that burgundy one I showed you, and the purple wallflower. And there's a few more, we'll come back to them. But why don't we talk about summer plants? So these are ones you may not have pruned yet, and that's fine, but now's about the time. So let's look at this one. So this is yarrow, and look at all the different colors, but this is actually raspberry yarrow. It's my favorite one that we offer. We offer lots of different colors. Look at that gorgeous deep raspberry pink, one of my favorite colors, as many of you know. Talk about it all the time. There's maybe 5 or 7 plants there. It makes this beautiful mass of pink amongst this garden here, but it's looking kind of faded, right? So the reason it is what it does is it'll start with this color, and then it goes to this lighter pink, and then to a little bit lighter pink, and then eventually kind of brown. And so we want to get that off. So it's up to you. If you like kind of the dark pink and light pink look, then just merely cut off some of the brown ones, right? And you can leave some of the regular pink. Just cut off some of these brown stems there, just like that. But what you can do is cut off everything except that color, and that'll give you a very, very nice effect. And here's that raspberry yarrow after we've pruned it. Oh, isn't it gorgeous? You just get that solid, deep raspberry pink color. It's just so beautiful, you know, and then it's got some pink persicaria behind it, so it kind of echoes that color of that flat yarrow head, but with these vertical spires of pink, and this beautiful pink glowing embers hydrangea with just head after head, huge heads of pink flowers. It's a beautiful combo, and I deadhead these yarrow to keep that color scheme going so that you can just really read across all those great pinks. And then of course we cool this down with some beautiful purple, like this this hummingbird mint or Augustaki Blue Fortune, my favorite variety. And we have all this stuff at the nursery, but isn't it gorgeous with the hydrangea? How about other summer bloomers like salvia? So this is a beautiful, beautiful salvia. This is called Caradonna. I want to see if you can zoom in on this. This is I'm not even capturing the color. It's so beautiful. I just won't focus on it. But it's this dark, dark spires of purple, and they're pretty short. So they're maybe 18 inches tall. Beautiful at the front of the border. A great, you know, spires, a nice texture. But look, these are all spent blooms. So what I'm going to do to make this easier is I am just going to grab it. I call it ponytail style. I'm going to take this whole thing and clip. I can't film and do this at the same time. Clip this all in one spot right here, right? And just do one cut. So there it is, just one cut. So now it's about 6 inches tall. I cut off some buds and things that would have bloomed, but it was very easy. So this is the quick and easy way. You can just prune it to about 6 inches tall, and then it's going to make more and more blooms, and it'll start blooming again in gosh, 3 to 4 weeks probably. You can time things this way too. If you have a big event coming, we actually have a big event. A wedding is going to be here in a couple of weeks. So we did a lot of pruning before this to get ready for that and have the blooms really pop. But see all the spent blooms behind it? But it's really this amazing dark purple. And I want to keep that going. And so we're going to prune all that back down. Penstemon. So these are beautiful spires of these tubular flowers. The hummingbirds, the bees, the pollinators, they all love them. And look at how beautifully they stand straight up and just have those beautiful flowers. So they start blooming in late June into July. So these guys have been blooming for over a month. They're going to keep blooming, you know, for another few months. So really long blooming, 4 months or more. And we're going to want to cut them back. But they've just only been blooming maybe a month or so. So they don't even need, this one doesn't need to be cut back. Everything is a beautifully blooming spire. But, you know, you have a few, there's a spent one right there. And you're just going to cut right underneath. When this flower spire is done, you'll cut right underneath that. And you'll notice there's buds just underneath each of these. And they're going to send up new flowering shoots as you keep those old ones clipped off. So if you had some penstemon that have been blooming for 4 to 6 weeks, it might be time to go in and look for some of those spent blooms. This guy, we've already clipped him maybe once a week or so ago, and he's got all these buds on him. It's this beautiful plum color. This one's called Raven. This one is Penstemon Ruby. Again, this one's been blooming for, gosh, I want to say maybe 6 weeks now. And we did come through and do a prune a few weeks ago. And now he's already got his new flowers on, so beautiful. But this whole entire plant, there's maybe 7 of plants there, will just be covered in these deep raspberry pink blooms. What a beautiful, and the bees are all over the place on these guys. I love seeing them pop in and out. All different kinds of bees, little ones, big ones, bumbles and honeybees. So much fun. Here are some summer bloomers. It's time for echinacea. Coneflower, aren't these gorgeous? This one's tanager. I love this color, and it's got orange on the outside and this raspberry pink, you know, picks up so beautifully with other raspberry pink flowers around it, or even this coral phlox. And these have started blooming in the last 3 to 4 weeks, so they're just going and going. We won't need to prune them for another few weeks, so they're perfect. The phlox smells so good. I love the aroma out here. So I love this combo. It has a beautiful little dark purple leaved weigela here, just the leaves, and this other plant with plum flowers, some pink persicaria. There's a wallflower that really needs to be pruned. That should be a sea of purple there. But these are summer bloomers. They started in July, and so they won't need to be pruned for a little while. So you can just enjoy those and relax. And then behind it, this one also started in late June into July. This is Hummingbird Mint Blue Fortune again. Look at it. It's like 4 feet tall. It's this beautiful blue spires behind our phlox and our echinacea. Just such a great combination of this kind of orange hot pink, a light pinky coral, and this beautiful purple blue. Again, the bees are everywhere. You don't need to prune this one either. Because it's bloomed within the last 4 weeks or so, I don't see any spent blooms on it. So we probably got another few weeks before we need to come in. When we prune this, if you can see, it's got the tall flower spike there, and then 2 more, you know, right below it at the next node. So big flower, the stem goes down, then you've got more flowers here. So when this one is done, we can just clip it here or just a little below, and then there'll be more buds down below that by clipping these flowers when they're spent, it will activate the buds below. That's typical for a lot of perennials. The dahlias are blooming. They usually start blooming in late July and then really ramp up and gallop into August. And even though this guy's only been blooming for like maybe 3 weeks, the spent heads happen pretty quickly. So we try to take these off, and you're just gonna take it off right here. And then you're gonna see that just below that was this bud. So you can just prune all of these right underneath the flower once it is spent like that. and then you'll just keep your dahlia blooming and blooming. This one is Teddy. What a beautiful, beautiful shade of orange. Well, I hope that helped in terms of pruning in summer. And let me just finish this off with, if you keep up the pruning of all your perennials, look how beautiful they're going to be. This is the Jupiter's beard, both the pink one and the white one. We're coming over here. Here's the wallflower. It's been blooming since April and still going because we keep pruning it back. Here's one we haven't actually talked about yet. This is a candy tuft. It's been blooming. Gosh, this one is pink ice. It's my new favorite. It's evergreen. Look how cute it is on the wall there. And it's got these great flowers. It's been blooming for over 3 months now. It's this is not like the old candy tuft I used to have that bloomed for a short time. This one's really pretty and thick and healthy. This is Delphinium Black Knight. We actually had not talked about Delphinium, but it is interesting to talk about it because it blooms typically in May. But you can get another second or even third bloom out of it, but you need to take, as we are, it's August, this guy's blooming, right? So you cut Delphinium all the way to the bottom, right there, and when it's done blooming, and then we'll send up new shoots and foliage and give you another round of bloom. So every time it's done, you clip that flower down and get more blooms. Here's some dahlias, aren't they amazing? This one is, this one's Dragonberry. That color, is that stunning? Wow, can't Photoshop that. Here's some of that beautiful, the deep purple of the Salvia caridana. It's got that dark, dark purple. It just doesn't show up well on the camera, but it's really a great plant, Salvia caridana. That's one of the ones I showed you earlier we had clipped. Here is more of our Jupiter's beard. And then we get down to the Gara. This is Gara Sparkle White. See how it blows in the wind? It's just so beautiful. There's some across the way here from it also. And it just blows and blows and waves. And it's just a sweet, beautiful, light flower. And for these, you would actually, they're not spent quite yet. So we haven't even pruned these. But you're starting to see a few stems that have no flowers on them. And we can just clip those back. Like the entire long stem, just like we did some of the other ones, we would just clip it right back to there to clean it up. But we often don't prune Gara much in the season at all. It just kind of self-cleans and keeps blooming. We just keep walking through the garden. There's Geranium Roseanne. She's a beauty. Haven't pruned this one at all, and it's been blooming since May, June, July, 4 months so far. Still gorgeous. Look how she goes over the wall there. It's a gorgeous day out. We've been doing lots of cleanup and pruning, getting ready. The big wedding I talked about earlier is actually in 2 days. We're so excited to host that and getting the garden ready. Well, I think our garden is about as ready as it's going to be. Got roses are still blooming. We always really stay up on our roses because the blooms fade and we clip them quickly so that we can really keep, look how gorgeous that dark pink rose is. And we actually are selling some roses in the nursery now, including this gorgeous dark pink one. That's a Burgundy Dahlia, Holly Hill. We've got that one also. But if you just step back, and this will be kind of our end to our video, you can just see still lots and lots of color. So keeping up with that pruning will keep you with lots and lots of color throughout the whole season. And even the crepe myrtles are starting to come out. It really is getting to be the end of summer. So enjoy. I hope this helped with how you keep your perennials blooming for a long time and how you keep them up. And I'll see you out in the garden.